Key elements of IoT security. Threats are potential causes of an event that could breach security and causes possible harm. So there are possibility of making the system harms, and that is because of various kinds of threats. So threats are some kind of potential causes that usually break the security and they do some kind of harm in your system can be either your any machine, or it can be your, let's say, network, or it can be anything. So harm can be done to any of the system with the help of various types of threats. Sometime there is a situation where protection mechanism becomes subject to harm. Sometimes it is happening that we are usually implementing some protection system, and with the help of that protection system, harmful activities can also be possible through that particular mechanism. So our intention was to give proper security with the help of that particular protection mechanism, but hackers or intruders may use this protection mechanism to harm our system also. To avoid these, some security policies are decided. So to avoid such situations, to avoid such, let's say, harmful activities, there are some policies that are already decided to implement in your IoT application or in IoT system. Threats are occur due to weakness in the mechanism which implementing a particular security policy. How threats occur? Threats are occurring because of, let's say, some kind of weaknesses which are available in the mechanism. If we are trying to implement any mechanism to protect our system, in that case, there may be possibility that there are some kind of weaknesses in that mechanism. So hackers or attackers will definitely try to find out those weaknesses, and they will try to harm our system through those weaknesses. So there should be proper strong system which will protect these harmful activities, and this is possible only and only by identifying various weaknesses of the mechanism. Security in IoT environment should address the following main issues. Number one, enabling smart and intelligent behavior of network object. So whenever we are going to implement any IoT application, in that case, there will be some objects, and those objects will be treated as your what? Networked object. Means what? They will be the part of your network. Network can be either wired network or it can be your wireless network. But when any object will be the part of your network or IoT application, then it will be treated as your what? Networked object. And the behavior of those objects should be what? They should be smart, and it should be what? Intelligent. This is what the thing which will going to overcome the security. Then preservation of privacy for heterogeneous set of objects. There will be different types of object. So we need to focus on maintaining the privacy of these different types of objects. Decentralized authentication and trust model. There should be proper trust model. With the help of that trust model, authorized user can be give access to maintain your, let's say, network, and there should be some decentralized authentication process, due to which your security will be preserved and proper security can be given to your what? Application or system. Energy efficient security solutions. So we must provide some kind of security solutions which are energy efficient. Proper authentication of the objects within the network. Whenever there will be any kind of network, those objects will be connected to that network or that particular IoT application. So there should be proper authentication given to each and every objects which will be part of your what? IoT application. So proper authentication should be given to every object, every physical thing in your network. Then we must focus on the security and trust for cloud computing services. If required, we may use some cloud computing services, and with the help of those external services, we try to upload our data, IoT application generated data on that particular cloud. So we must trust on those cloud computing services, and there should be proper security to each and every service provided by those cloud computing devices. So there should be proper security and trust on various services provided by cloud computing systems. And data ownership is very important. As we are going to generate the data, we must maintain the ownership of each and every data generated by your IoT application. And that ownership can be maintained again with the help of your security and privacy given to all the type of data generated by your IoT application. Let us see some key elements of IoT security. So first key element is identity establishment, access control, data and message security, non-repudiation and availability, and last one is security model for IoT. Now let us see them one by one. First one is identity establishment. Secure entity identification is known as identity establishment, which is also referred as authentication. So whenever there will be any kind of entity that we are going to add in your IoT application, every entity must have proper identification, and that identification should be your secure. So it is known as your identity establishment activity, which is also known as authentication. Authentication is an identity establishment between communicating parties or devices or entities. So what exactly authentication is? Authentication is nothing but it is the process of establishing the identity of each and every device, each and every object in your IoT application. So entity can be a single user, it can be set of users, it can be entire organization, or it can be any networking device. Identity establishment is ensuring that the origin of electronic document and message is correctly identified. So what exactly identity establishment is? It is nothing but we must ensure that whatever data has been generated by that particular electronic document, that data and that message is correctly identified. That means it is generated from authenticated source. That is nothing but identity establishment. Identities are windows through which users interact with their device and consume services in today's world. So what are entities? What is identities? They are one kind of your what? Windows through which various users can interact with all the devices available in your application. That is nothing but an identity. Before delivering any service, it is expected to verify digital identity of user requesting that service and also the identity of the entity offering that service. So whenever we will try to use any service provided by any application, it is expected that the digital identity of each and every service provider must be verified. Unless and until you don't verify the identity of server as let's say client and server, we must not interact with those entity. So digital identity of such user must be verified. So which user? Users who are requesting the services and the users who are offering the services. In IoT world, this concept of identity extends to things. So in case of our IoT application, whatever discussion we have seen till now, it will extend to various things, various physical objects around user. Ensuring that things have a means to be identified in critical to assure users that their interaction with the things are safe. Why to do this thing? Because of secure communication, because of safe communication, safe interaction between various entities of your IoT application. Let's say there are 4-5 devices, 4-5 entities in IoT application. In that case, there should be safe and protected discussion, communication, interaction must take place in between each and every device. That's why there is a need of identity establishment between all the devices which will be the part of your IoT application. Many security mechanisms have been proposed based on private key cryptographic primitives due to fast computation and energy efficiency. So there are so many mechanisms usually based on private key cryptographic primitives. Why? due to its fast computation and energy efficiency. So private key cryptography process has been used for giving this kind of identity establishment. Why? Because of its fast computation and it is energy efficient. So most of the security mechanisms are based on this type of primitives. Scalability problem and memory requirement to store keys makes it inefficient for heterogeneous devices in IoT. Whenever we will talk about IoT application, we must take into consideration that devices in your single IoT application can be heterogeneous. That means their type can be different. It's not like that every device in your IoT application can be of same type. They can be of different type. In that case, we must focus on scalability and memory requirement. So such kind of issues again needs to be addressed while focusing on implementation of any of the IoT applications. So scalability problem and memory requirement to store various such kind of private key makes it inefficient for heterogeneous. So there will not be sufficient capability for each and every IoT device to maintain scalability and memory requirement. So there will be the public key cryptography based solution that will going to overcome these challenges. So when we will going to face previous challenges, in that case, the solution on those particular scalability and memory requirement will be using public key cryptography. And we need to use this kind of methodology because these challenges have high scalability, low memory requirement, and no requirement of key P distribution infrastructure. Irrespective of your private key cryptography, this public key cryptography will going to provide high scalability, low memory requirement, and no requirement of key pre-distribution infrastructure. So we do not have to distribute the keys before implementing your IoT application in case of your public key cryptography. ECC based mutual authentication protocol can be used for your IoT application with the help of your hash functions. Then mutual authentication is achieved between terminal node and platform using secret key crypto system, introducing problem of key management and storage. So to overcome the problem of key management and storing the keys, there should be what? Mutual authentication between each and every terminal node of your IoT application and between various platforms that can going to use your secret key crypto system. So we must use what? Mutual authentication mechanism. Then there will be self-certified keys, which will based on your various type of user authentication, which will be distributed in nature. And this type of user authentication is mainly work on your wireless sensor network that can be used where only user nodes are authenticated. So if we wish to authenticate only user node in your wireless sensor network, then this kind of self-certified keys crypto system based distributed user authentication scheme can be used. So in this case, what will happen? There will be the keys. Those keys will be self-certified and it will be based on your what? User authentication scheme. This is what the process of your identity establishment. Then second is access control, which is also known as access authorization or simply authorization. The principle of access control determines who should be able to access what. So exactly what is access control? Access control is nothing but it will work on the principle who should able to access which information. Which user should access what information will going to describe by access control. This access control prevents unauthorized use of resources. So whenever there will be some kind of resources we are going to use in our IoT application, let's say sensors, actuators, in that case, access control mechanism will going to prevent unauthorized use of such resources. Means what? Only authorized and authenticated users will use all the resources available in your system. To achieve access control, entity which trying to gain access must be authenticated first. Yes, very true. Access control will work on authentication. So if any entity wants to access some data or any entity wants to access some information in your application or some resources, in that case, that entity must be authenticated first. Then only access control should be given to such entities. According to authentication, access rights can be modified to the individual. So authentication will vary user to user. Some user may want 2 services, some user may want 4 services. In that case, access rights to each and every individual user may vary according to the process of authentication. Introducing a new device or new user and achieving authentication and access control to device resources in IoT is critical. So whenever we will try to introduce new device in your IoT application, or whenever we will try to introduce new user, or if we wish to achieve new authentication process, then in that case, giving access control to such devices and resources will be critical in case of your IoT system, because that particular system has already been implemented. All the users and devices are already set in the system. And if we try to add a new device or new user, in that case, it will become somewhat critical to add new devices, because every device will going to have some unique ID, and that ID can be added in your application. That's why this process can be treated as somewhat critical process. As IoT is ad hoc and dynamic in nature, efficient and robust mechanism of secure access to resource must be deployed with distributed nature. As we all are aware about that, this IoT is your ad hoc and dynamic nature. That's why we must provide some efficient and robust mechanism for secure access to resources. Remember, this word is very important: secure access to resources. So whenever we will going to give some kind of access to any resource, that access should be always secure. It should be given to only authenticated user only, and it should always be in distributed nature. Traditionally, access control is represented by an access control matrix, that is ACM. It is your matrix. ACM is your matrix, as its name suggests that it is your access control matrix, in which column of ACM is basically list of objects or resources to be accessed, and the row is list of subject or whoever wants to access the resources. So this ACM is nothing but is your one type of matrix. In that particular matrix, the column will going to contain list of various objects and resources, whereas rows will be the list of subjects or whoever want to access those resources. List of sub users will be maintained in this kind of your access control matrix. Due to unbound number of devices and services, scalability and manageability issues are scary in your IoT. So whenever we will talk about IoT application, there will not be any kind of limitation on your devices as well as services. Due to this unlimited devices and services, the problem of scalability and manageability of such devices and services will come into the picture, and which will treat as scary in case of your any of the IoT application implementation. Then next is data and message security. As the name suggests that this kind of mechanism will going to focus on the security of your data as well as message. Data security is mostly concerned with source authenticity, modification detection, and confidentiality of data that is being processed in memory. Every IoT application will going to generate some kind of data as well as some kind of, let's say, message. So data security is most important part in case of your such kind of application, and we must focus on, if any data is going to generate in case of your any IoT application, then we must focus on the authenticity of the source. That means who has generated that data, whether the data generated entity is your authenticated entity, whether it is approved entity. So the source of that authenticity of that data must be checked. If any data is going to modify, then modification detection should be done. How many times that particular data has been modified, who modified that data, why that particular data has been modified. That modification detection process must be implemented in case of your data security, and there should be proper confidentiality of data must be implemented in your any of the IoT application. Combination of modification and confidentiality of message is not enough. So these two things are not only enough in case of your data security. That means modification and confidentiality, only these two things are not enough while focusing on your data integrity, but origin of authenticity is also important. So along with your modification and confidentiality, authenticity is also important in case of your data security. Location privacy is equally important risk in your IoT. We must not disclose the location of any of the device, at which location server is, at which location that particular IoT device is located. We must not public or we must not disclose that particular location of such devices, which may give some risk factor in your IoT application. To ensure location privacy, communication and reference signal integrity needs to be maintained. So if we wish to maintain the location privacy, in that case, there should be proper communication implemented in your various IoT devices, and there should be proper signal integrity maintained in between your IoT application. Communication confidentiality and privacy of localization and tracking data is highly sensitive in IoT mixture. So whenever we will talk about IoT data generation, at one time, huge amount of data is going to generate, and that data will going to start communicate with each and other IoT device. In that case, this type of communication must be confidential, and there should be the privacy of localization, and tracking of data is also what? Highly sensitive activity. There should not be any way for an attacker to reveal identity or location information of device to ensure privacy. If you want to maintain the privacy of your data as well as your devices, in that case, we must not reveal the identity or location of information to attacker. Attacker should not get the exact identity and location of each and every device. Then only the privacy of your device and data will be maintained. When contents of message are changed after sending from source but before reaches at destination, then we can say that integrity of message is lost. Let's say source has generated data ABC, and that particular data has been sent from source to destination. But while reaching that ABC data to destination, that data may get changed from ABC to ABD. In that case, we may say that data has been changed from ABC to ABD, and we can call it as the integrity of that particular message has been lost. That means the message originality has been lost and the message will be your modified message. Integrity services assure that data sent are received as no duplication, insertion, modification, or replies. So whenever there will be receipt of data, integrity service will consider there will not be any kind of duplication in the data, there will not be new addition in the data, there will not be any kind of modification in data, and there will not be any kind of replies in the data. Then only we can say that the integrity of that data has been maintained. Then next is your non-repudiation and availability. Non-repudiation is one of the security service or dimension for point-to-point communication. When two devices will going to communicate with each other, then that kind of communication will call as your point-to-point communication, and a non-repudiation will going to work on this kind of security services which will work on your point-to-point communication. This non-repudiation is defined by ITU in document X.805. To repudiate means to deny. So non-repudiation means what? Non-denial. So no one can deny for this. Non-repudiation of access is the process by which an entity, that entity can be either sender or it can be receiver, is prevented from denying a transmitted message. Means what? Non-repudiation is the process in which no one can deny that the message has been transmitted. Let's take an example of this. So when message is sent, receiver can prove that initiating sender only send that message. When we try to send some message between two or more device, then sender can send that data has been sent by the sender. In that case, no one can deny that this data is not sent by me, like this. Similarly, sender can prove that receiver got the message. In the same way, sender can also prove that the receiver has successfully received the message. For example, you might send register mail so that recipient cannot deny that the mail has not been delivered. When we will going to receive any kind of mail, we cannot say that mail is not delivered. Similarly, a legal document typically requires witness to sign so that the person who signs cannot deny. When we receive any kind of legal document and when we sign it, in that case, we cannot say that this is not my signature or I have not received any kind of document in case of your legal document. So this is what non-repudiation activity is. Both X.800 and RFC 2828 define availability to be property of system or system resource being accessible and usable upon demand by authorized system. So whenever there will be authorized system, it will going to demand some data, then availability of such property to the system must be accessible. That means no one should deny that this system is not available or that particular system is not accessible. For example, banking customer should be able to check their balance at any time, so server must be available at on time. I may check my account balance at night. I may check my account balance in early in the morning. In that case, that particular bank server must be available 24/7. That is the property of availability. Availability is ensured by strictly maintaining all hardware, repairing immediately whenever required. So availability means every system, everything must be available at every moment. Availability also prevents bottleneck occurrence by keeping emergence backup power system and guarding against malicious actions like denial of service attack. So availability must focus on there should not be any kind of problem while occurrence of the system, as well as there should be proper backup, and it will must protect from malicious activity like denial of service. And last one is security model for IoT. Integrated and interrelated perspective on security, trust, privacy can potentially deliver an input to address protection issue in IoT. So whenever we'll talk about the protection in your IoT application, we must focus on three things. Number one, security, trust, and privacy. And that can be possible in case of your this kind of security model for IoT. So cube structure is chosen as modeling mechanism for security, trust, and privacy. Cube has three dimensions with the ability to clearly show intersection thereof. So as we all are about the structure of cube is your 3D object. Therefore, a cube is an ideal modeling structure for depicting the convergence of security, trust, and privacy. So we are going to use cube structure to discuss about security, trust, and privacy. It is clear that type and structure of information required to grant or reject such access is complex and should address the following IoT issues. Number one, security. That is nothing but your authorization. Number two, trust, that is reputation. And number three, privacy, that is nothing but respondent. So this is what the security model for IoT is. This is your cube-like structure. This cube-like structure will have three dimensions. First dimension will be based on your trust. Second dimension will be based on your security. And third dimension will be based on your what? Privacy. So these are some points related with your trust, which are nothing but various beliefs, credentials, delegations, recommendations, and reputation of the data and message. If we talk about security, then availability, non-repudiation, integrity, confidentiality, identification, and authentication must be focused, and authorization must be there. And last one will be your privacy, in which various laws, ethical, sorry, user privacy, owner privacy, and ethical activities will be focused, as well as some respondent privacy will also be focused. Current internet security protocols rely on well-known and widely trusted suite of cryptographic algorithms. So nowadays there are so many protocols that are used in your internet security, out of which some of them are AES block zipper for confidentiality, RSA asymmetric algorithm for digital signature and key transport, Diffie-Hellman asymmetric key agreement algorithm, SH1 and SH256 secure hash algorithms. This suite of algorithm is supplemented by a set of emerging asymmetric algorithm, which is known as elliptic curve cryptography, that is ECC. So these kind of security models nowadays are implemented in your what? Internet security protocols.